Greetings, Marco. I have returned.
It's glorious and otherwise.
Well, we're back again. Well, I'm back again. It's the royal we.
Technically,
which is okay since I visited Scotland. I can do a royal we now.
Besides, aren't you like the king of level 99 games? So,
well, my official title isn't king, but I guess I could take it for this episode.
Yeah, for like the next 5 minutes, you are now. I dubbed thee king.
That's your Majesty is now. Thanks, Marco.
Sorry, Your Majesty. I apologize. Please do not punish this lowly serf.
Off with his podcast.
No! Podcast feed cuts off. Like ominous music. I mean, like that's just how it goes. Brad, welcome back. I have missed you. Like not to the point where I have been disabled or indisposed, but like I'm so happy you're back.
Well, good. I'm glad to be back, and I've missed you too, but not to those degrees. But still, it feels kind of bad to say like I missed you, but not that much. Like, but no, I did miss you a lot, Marco. Actually, I was like every week I'd wake up and be like, I need to do a podcast. Oh no, wait, Marco's doing it without me. Oh no.
Oh man, sad.
But they're having all this podcast fun without me.
Oh no, you should have been here when Laura was here. You should have been here when Cameron was here. Like when Laura was here, we literally spent 10 minutes talking about languages. You could have contributed so much because you know at least like 3.
I guess I picked up a little bit of Italian while I was out.
Oh,
I
really?
Say, like, I can say excuse me and, croissant, please.
Oh, what's excuse me in
right?
Italian?
Excuse.
Oh, okay. What's croissant, please in Italian?
Actually, wait. No, maybe I forgot that one already. Okay. All right, now I only know one word in Italian now.
Disaster. No,
it's the one you need to push through crowds.
How about ciao?
The most important one.
How about ciao? Ciao, Bella. Or
ciao? I think that's good afternoon or see you later.
Yeah. That's like see you later or something like that. Yeah. And then you I don't know what you call it in English, but the thing where you like cheek kiss them on both cheeks with both of your cheeks.
Yeah, I never did that.
Yeah. No, we do that in Filipino culture. It's a pretty interesting thing. Yeah, you usually do it to your aunts.
Well, it is like a Spanish Portuguese thing, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, it seems like that way. We call it beso, or yeah, yeah. I don't know. Anyway, welcome back. I'm so excited to have you here.
It's good
because we can finally talk about design and stuff. Like I've missed you. Like everybody who came onto the show.
You've missed my design talks.
Yes.
Really, you're always like, oh, let's do other things. We don't want to talk about design.
No, let's talk about design. I mean, like especially in the 99 questions, like everybody usually asks stuff like, "Hey, Brad, what do you think about this design? How about that design?" And I'm like, we can't ask any of these questions. They are all Brad specific. So. Welcome back. I'm so happy. But Brad, more than talking about your vacation, I'm more excited to know what you've been doing this week. So tell us, in this segment, what we've been doing. And we've created a new rule while you were gone. So I have to reorient.
Catch me up.
Yeah, catch you up. So for this segment, there is only one caveat. You can't talk about work.
What? I've been vacationing and now I'm so excited to get back and work, and you won't let me talk about work.
Oh, save it for your segment, Brad.
But what if you're one of those people where like your work is your life?
Oh man, okay, that's a bit hard. Fine, if you are literally one of those people where your work is literally your entire life, then fine. But I know you, and you have some time to play games, so.
I do. I have other things. Honestly, I haven't done too much since I got back. I got back on Sunday or Saturday, and I slept a lot to get back over my jet lag.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm finally caught up on a regular schedule here in New Mexico. Let's see. I decided while I was gone that I was going to catch up on some video games. So I'm now playing through Atelier Sophie.
Okay.
I have like a bunch of I have 6 games in the Atelier series to catch up on, and it's one of my favorite series. So I've been like backlogged on them, and anyway, so I'm getting through those. I did a little bit of cooking. I made some curry. now that I'm back.
Not in game.
What?
In-game curry or
No, not in Atelier Sophie. I made curry in real life.
Okay, you have to understand.
But yeah, I guess you can do that, can't you? No, I when I was in Italy, I took a how to make pasta class, so I can like make pasta from scratch now.
Ooh.
And I am planning to get a pasta maker and make some from scratch pasta.
Wow.
When I get the opportunity, so that's what I'm looking forward to doing now that I'm back.
What kind of pasta? Like fettuccine?
Tagliatelle.
Wow, what's that? Okay, is that like the spiral one? The corkscrew?
It's a little bit thick. It's a little bit thicker than fettuccine. It's kind of like a linguine type noodle.
Except like strands and not the thing.
Yeah,
I see. I can't talk about pasta.
I mean, you look it up online. You'll see a picture. You'll know what it is.
I see. I've probably eaten it and just not known what it's called.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Okay, so that's great. I think. Speaking of Atelier series, have you played Recettear?
I haven't yet. I've heard that it's pretty good, but like I said, I got 6 Atelier games, so picking up Recettear is not real high on my list.
Oh my gosh. Well, okay, that's fair. But that's like literally, I think, the prototype to all the Atelier games, and then it's like, I don't know.
Well, I doubt that because the Atelier games go back to like '93 or something.
Okay, never mind. Yeah, probably.
Like Mario was one of the first games on PlayStation, I think, or one of the early games on PlayStation in Japan. So they have quite a history.
Okay, I didn't know it went back all the way that far. I thought they were like 2000s or something.
Yeah. Although if you ever want to send me a Christmas present, I do collect Atelier merchandise. So
you do? Oh man, Brad's secret dark weeb side has shown. Weeb Brad, welcome to the podcast.
Well, I was in Japan. And I managed to get early copies of some of the games and art books, and so I was like, oh well, I'll just start collecting these because I really like the artwork in the series.
I think the last one I've played was Rorona.
Yeah, I still haven't done Rorona yet. So
wow, so that means are you playing them in order, in like chronological?
No, I'm not playing them in order necessarily. I'm just kind of playing them in the order that I got them.
Oh, okay, I see. All right.
I tend to forget about it for a while, and I go back and I clean up again and pick up all the ones that I missed.
How long is an Atelier game last? Because like I didn't even finish Rorona.
They're about 40 to 80 hours to complete if you want to get like you don't necessarily have to like full clear, but if you want to get to the end and do a reasonable job of crushing the boss, you got to do about that much.
Wow, so it's a typical JRPG length time.
Yeah, yeah, they're JRPG games.
Yeah.
So it's about what you'd expect. It's just that you have to craft all your own gear, and that's really the fun part of it.
Yeah, and managing.
I really like the changes in Sophie. They made the alchemy game more like a puzzle game. And so the way that you solve the puzzle can determines what traits and abilities your item develops, and it's really cool. And I think in all the Mysterious series, they're done in arcs, and every arc has 3 games. So Rorona is like the first game in the Arland series, and then there's a Dusk series, and now it's a Mysterious series, and that's the one that Sophie is in. And so in Mysterious, they actually have like this little mini game board where you place your items into the cauldron and that creates your item, and it's anyway, it's super cool. It's a really nice evolution of the system.
Now we know why you wanted that gear grid in 7th Cross.
Yeah, I won't say it's not uninspired.
All right. Oh my gosh. All right, Brad. I mean, I know that we have a very limited time for this podcast, so I'm going to cut you there and talk about what I've been doing, because it's important to talk about what I've been doing, right? Because
what have you been up to,
I'm
Marco?
a special boy, and I've been playing Wizard of Legend and Dungeons and Dragons 5e.
That's a pretty auspicious title.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. How are you enjoying 5e?
Oh, it's interesting. I haven't played Dungeons and Dragons in a while. Most of my tabletop RPG games have been, what do you call this? Other systems like Strike or whatever homebrew I decided to make out of a D10 system or whatever, right? It's all pretty interesting. I like 5e. I like my character. This is the first time I'm actually a player. Most of the time I play Dungeon Master, so it's very interesting to be a player. Really, really fun. Really, really dumb. My character's really dumb. he's also a wizard. That's why both of these things relate very well. Because
I see.
my character in oh, by the way, he's not a class wizard. He is a wizard, but his class isn't wizard. Because I think
What is his class?
I think he's an artificer. But
Uh-huh.
so he's an art.
Wait, so he's a stupid artificer. That's even harder than being a stupid wizard.
No. He's not a stupid wizard. It's just the fact that he is a wizard that is stupid. So he's an
I see.
so he's an artificer.
So it's like all intelligence, no wisdom, that kind of thing.
Kind of like that, because basically he's like in a fantasy land. He's basically LARPing as a wizard, and then I gave him maximum charisma and maximum intelligence, so that every time he does an artificer thing with technology, he uses sleight of hand to make it look like he's doing actual magic to fool people into thinking he's a wizard.
I see.
Right? It's like, ooh, I'm a fake
Okay.
wizard.
So it's kind of a trickster.
Yeah. He's a con man fake wizard. It's like, oh,
Mm,
I am a great and powerful wizard, and then he pulls something out of a bag of holding and pretends he apparated it or something like that. It's dumb. Like most of me playing that character is just roleplay. Like mechanics, he's just a typical artificer, but all the fun comes in the roleplay. So
Yeah, well, that's role playing games in a nutshell, right?
yeah, that's true. But Wizard of Legend, Brad, it's a video game on Steam right now, $10. Guess what it's about?
Being a wizard of legend, I assume.
Yes, but it's also a roguelike dungeon crawler.
Oh no! Oh no!
But
Well, Marco,
but
you've surprised us all.
oh no, snap. But in reality, many people would describe this game to be Binding of Isaac means Avatar The Last Airbender, because the entire deal of this game is that you can
That sounds really cool.
yeah, it's like, so it's a roguelike dungeon crawler. That's the Binding of Isaac part. The cool part is the combat, because my goodness, are there 12 billion spells in this game. As far as I know, there are...
Oh, okay. This is different than the one you showed me that was also about spellcraft.
That's
right?
Magic Maker.
Yeah, I need to play both of those.
Yeah, so this one's really, really interesting, because there are over 90-something spells in the game, and when you start every run, you get to pick your Mage Cloak, your Relic, and then you get to take with you 4 spells. 1 basic spell, 1 dash spell, and then 2 other spells that come from the remaining pool. And this is, it's absolutely crazy how many spells are in this game. All the spells are divided into 6 elements, and each of those elements has at least 10 spells in them. So you can mix and match a lot of stuff to make cool builds. Mix that with the cloaks, mix that with the artifacts, and you have a lot of versatility in your character customization. Like in one build, I was like a water wizard who was using water spells to aqua prison a guy and then shoot a torrent of water at the guy while dashing and forming bubbles everywhere.
Okay, so the builds, there's builds, and
There's
you do wild stuff.
There's so many builds, so much wild stuff. I think it's a really cool game. If you love action-oriented combat, if you like making builds, if you like freaking wizards, take this game. Great game.
What we need for both of us, Marco, is a dungeon crawling item crafting game. Roguelike item crafting game.
That's called Reciteer.
What do you think? Is Reciteer really a roguelike? Is it single session? I thought it was a long game.
It was so basically it's like a long game, but the way it's played is that there's 2 phases, right? The first phase is you do the item shop management where you capitalism a bunch of townspeople, you try to upsell and downsell products. And then the other half is using that money, you try to collect more materials for your shop by dungeon crawling in various dungeons found in the game, since most of the dungeons are randomly generated.
Yeah, that's a pretty typical Atelier arc. So
yeah,
not too different than what I'd expect from those games.
Definitely. That's why I thought it was this is probably a prototype Atelier, because the
the store system reminds me a lot of the Iris arc.
Really?
Because in those you always run a store. You run a store, and at the end of the day, you register the items you make, and they sell them at the store, and then they give you profits based on how popular your sales were.
Oh, yeah, it's kind of like that. Except I think in Reciteer you sell per item, and you do like haggling and stuff. Whatever, it's fun. Yeah.
Okay, a little more detailed.
Yeah, hella more detailed because like specific people like specific things and can haggle for more or less, and then you eventually build up this repertoire of like, oh yeah, Mrs. Johnson haggles for more, or like, oh, Dave at the docks doesn't really change us prices or stuff like that. It's pretty cool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, okay, that's what we've been doing. Let's move on to the next segment, Hyper Turbo Mode episode. Brad, what do you want to talk about during your segment?
Well, I guess what I'm really thinking about right now in the office is kind of what the future holds for us beyond this year. So, it's about halfway through 2018, and we're starting to think about what games we're going to do in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
I am building a big document of those, and my next plan is to share them with the team and get everybody's opinions on what we should be doing next and what everyone's excited about, and then we'll narrow down the list and I'll decide on our course for the next year. So if and you might have seen some of my recent blog posts that were just talking about random ideas that we had for game designs.
Yeah, I saw.
So, if you like any of those, like, it actually is relevant to hear your comments about them.
Please tell us in the comment section down below.
Yeah. So other than that, I've been planning for our next project, which is Devastation Remastered. So I'm already in the planning process for that. And then, working on promoting Imperial and answering people's questions and, just keeping things moving along. Because that's how it is, really. Kickstarter projects is, in these middle weeks, it's kind of just runs on its own, and you just pop in and say hi and, share details about the project. And honestly, everybody's been doing such a good job that I'm kind of like, oh, what do I do? I guess I'll just plan the next thing, which is nice because that's my real job. I don't. It's not my job to run the project. It's my job to plan for the future.
Yeah.
So being free to, even at like a high volume time, like during a Kickstarter, to think about my real job of planning for what's coming up is pretty nice. It gives me a lot of confidence in the team, and I feel really good about everything that Josh and Lara and Chris and Fabio and Cameron and Noko and you and just everybody's done while I'm away. It's been really great to see that that you guys can carry the team.
Aww. So that means we can take it at one of two ways, right? Like, we have grown to the point that we can help you do your job. Or number two, we don't need you anymore. Like, either pick one of those two.
Well, I think it's more that you've grown to the point where I don't have to do your jobs anymore.
That's true.
If you want to turn that around.
Ayo.
But that's how it is when you run a business. Like, your job is whatever needs to be done, and your most important job is to see the future and plan for the future. But if there's ever like a hole in the team, then you have to fill that gap. And so having it said that like I don't have any more gaps to fill is a pretty liberating feeling.
We're happy that
there's still a few things that I think we could improve on and offload from me, but I don't know if I'm ready to give up like world building. I probably want to keep world building and design for myself because I actually enjoy those.
I see. Besides, who else would know how to pronounce any of these names, right?
Yeah, that's the real issue, isn't it?
That's absolutely the real issue. Like,
this is why I can't ever make that Brad Pronounces Names movie, because then I'll lose all my power over you.
Yeah, we'd be like, we don't need you anymore to build this world. We know the pronunciations. Like, it's kind of like that thing where it's like you have the name of someone, you have control over them, but if we can't pronounce the name, how can we control it?
True name.
Yeah, like, how can we control it if we can't pronounce the true name, right?
No, man.
Rumpelstiltskin,
no.
Right? Like, that doesn't work that way.
I think you've been playing too much 5th edition.
Oh my gosh, that's true. I might have been playing a bit too much 5th edition, especially since my games start at 3 a.m. my time. Like,
wow, no wonder you're exhausted all the time.
Yeah, well, to be fair, I sleep at 7 p.m. to wake up at 3 a.m.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, like...
so this is more like the morning for you then, I guess, or afternoon for you.
Yeah, super morning. But yeah, it's fine. Brad, among all of the games you listed in that document, which one were you most excited for?
Well, I probably for Esper X, which is the next big game that I plan to make after Seventh Cross.
Yeah, this is
But
is this the shmup one?
no, that's Bullet. That's Bullet. Esper is well, I don't want to reveal too many details just yet because it's still in the early planning stages, and I found that like with Seventh Cross, if I reveal a lot of my early planning, a lot of it can change, and then
Ooh.
people just get like, they're like, well, why isn't the new game, why isn't the current version 23 like version 1 that you originally proposed? And I'm like, well, that's development. So I think I'm going to keep it under wraps a little bit longer until I'm sure that my plan for it will work. But I can tell you that, like other Level 99 games, it's going to be something you've never played before.
As usual. Oh man, I'm so excited every time you come up with a new IP, man. It's gonna be one hell of a ride.
It'll be a lot of fun. I'm really excited about the concept for this one.
Speaking of which, I'm pretty sure the old Esper X character arts are still on your Facebook.
Yeah?
I'm pretty sure. At least I've seen like the chibi ones.
Huh. Those are for I don't know. I'll have to look that up. I don't do any of the art for Esper, and I didn't concept any of the characters. So anything that you see that was like another, like a sketch of that I did, is not for this series. It's for something much older.
Oh, something much older. I see.
Like probably something from my college days when I still wanted to be a manga artist.
Heck yes.
But it didn't work out that way. Despite all my hard work and drawing, I decided it was not the path for me.
Mangaka Brad's not gonna be a real thing.
No, I've settled on I've accepted the fact that that's not my talent set.
I see. You're more about creating worlds and games in those worlds, which I guess is better.
Yeah, like Noko got me, or not got me, but recommended me a book on drawing, and I read all the theory, and I was just like, yeah, my brain doesn't work like this. I can't draw from life, so I'm never going to be a great artist.
Well, I guess we just have to accept certain things, right? Like the same way that Marco will never be a good singer, or like any of that stuff, right? So
you're not a good singer?
Well, I'm a decent singer, but I'll never be a good singer.
I see.
Like, I'm not completely tone deaf, but like, have you heard me sing?
I don't know. Maybe we'll have to like go to Japan and go karaoke sometime.
I don't think you have to go to Japan to go karaoke, bro. Like,
really? I didn't think ordinary people went to karaoke outside Japan.
I'm sorry. In the Philippines,
in Japan, it's common, but in the Philippines, it's a thing too.
Yep, super common.
I guess it's an Asian thing. In America, like you only go to karaoke if I don't know, like a certain. I think it's like like high school or like college age kids go to karaoke.
I see. High School Musical.
Or for like the like weird icebreaker parties.
Oh, can we not? Just thinking about it makes me feel icky.
I don't know. Like maybe at old people's birthday parties and stuff.
That's true. Speaking of karaoke, have you watched Agretsuko?
No, is this an anime about karaoke? A shonen anime about karaoke?
No, it's a Sanrio anime.
Oh, I think I saw this. I saw it.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it.
Oh, it's so cute and also too real for me.
Oh
my gosh! If you've ever worked a
I'll
day
have to check
job,
it out. It's on Netflix. I gotta check it out.
Dude, it's on Netflix. It's great. Like, some people are touting it to be like one of the best animes this season. It's so
really
it's
okay. All right, I'm gonna go check that out today. Then.
So anybody who's listening, somebody described it as this: what if kids' cartoons taught you lessons about adult life instead of kid life? It's basically like that. So it's like, instead of like having an episode wherein it's like, oh no, I'm being bullied. Oh, if you tell an adult about being bullied, that's blah, blah, blah. And then you learn a lesson about friendship, blah, blah, blah. Agretsuko is like, take that format, but make it about like stressful coworkers or bad bosses.
So like you tell somebody that you've been bullied at work, and then like you open a labor lawsuit, and then your boss like fires you preemptively, and then you get in a whole mess of trouble. And,
that almost literally happens in the show
because you lose the case.
That almost literally happens in the show.
I see.
Oh, it's an amazing show. Watch it. Just watch it. Okay, let's move on to our last segment, our 99 questions segment, where we take your fresh-baked questions straight from the Europe that is Panini and shove it down your gobsmackers so that we can give you the fresh answers that you so desire in croissant form. I don't know, I just said a bunch of Europe
I
terms.
think you're reaching new levels, Marco.
I have
I gotta
ascended.
say, it just keeps improving. Yeah.
It's my shonen power, Brad. You cannot deny my you cannot deny my shonen powers. Brad,
With shonen powers like that.
yeah, with shonen powers like
you could
that.
start your own anime.
Yeah, indeed. Oh, Brad, aren't I already my own anime? Number 1, design-wise, what do you think are the advantages and disadvantages of mechanics such as last hitting and item specialization, especially in board games? I think this is referring to like last hitting and item specs in MOBA games or MOBA type games.
Okay. Well, I think that like last hitting to start off with, like that's a mechanic that that I don't like much in video games. And I kind of don't like it. I kind of wouldn't like it much in board games either, because it's basically chicken, right? Like you want to do as much damage as you can, or you want to let your opponents do as much damage as you can to, and then do the final point of damage to a monster, so you can execute them and get all the points. And in a case where both players could potentially last hit the enemy, and they are opposed players, so it's a zero-sum game.
Mm-hmm.
It is not really, it just becomes a game of chicken, and not participating is the best way to win.
Because it's called last hitting.
Right, because it's all about the last hit. There is a game called Adrenaline, which is out there on the market. This is a first-person shooter board game, and I think I told you about this, Marco, but it's a worker placement game where your workers are bullets and you place them into the opponent's body via the guns that you use. And so in that game, there is a last hit bonus, but there's also a control bonus. So when you last hit somebody, you get a point for that. But if whoever did the most damage to them gets the bulk of the points. So there's a little bit of a last hit bonus. And it means that you still want to... It's nice because you still want to shoot somebody even if you know that the opponent is going to score a bunch of points. Because even though they are going to score the lion's share of the points, I'm going to get something if I hit the enemy.
If you kill steal them.
If I last hit the enemy. Yeah, well, and it's still like... I mean, maybe it's like 4 points for first place and then like 2 points for second place. But I get one more if I get the last hit. So if I throw a last hit... if you do like 90% of the damage and then I last hit, I'll get 3 points. Which is not as much as you got for doing all the damage, but it's still a good chunk of points
for
a much lower amount of work.
Yeah. Man, I need to get adrenaline.
That's it.
What am I doing?
Adrenaline is really good. Adrenaline's really good. And so I think in that sense, you can make last hitting work. But in general, I don't like last hitting as a mechanic in a vacuum. Right. You have to do other things to make it work out. And this is one reason that I do like Heroes of the Storm, is that it doesn't make last hitting a mechanic. You just have to be near enemies to see them, to get experience from them.
Huh.
And so you don't have to micromanage that on that level. You can focus on the big strategy of where am I standing, what am I doing, and not so much on the the minutia of who am I clicking on at this moment. Am I going to last hit them?
Huh.
Right?
I'm thinking about it. Literally nobody in Heroes of the Storm cares about last hits. Like, no one.
There's, like, Asmodan, he has a quest where if he has to actually kill minions.
Oh, with the dunk. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's, like, the only guy in the game that actually cares about last hits.
Yeah, like, I couldn't even
there
remember
might be
him.
one more that I'm not thinking of.
I'm pretty sure there's at least
but
one
anyway,
more. Yeah. How about item specialization?
So item specialization, it's okay. I tend to prefer like talent trees over item specialization. And the only difference there being that with item specialization, you have like a lot of items, some of which may be really useful and some of which may not be really useful based on what your character is. And then with a talent tree, you just have a list of talents that are custom spec to your character. So it's basically the same thing, except all the useless items have been removed.
Yeah.
From the pool, right? So you know, like, oh, this is good for you. But it also means, when you have talents, is that you can have talents that are unique to your character.
Yeah, like modifying their abilities.
That actually change the way that your character plays in a way that's pretty useful to you. So that I think is a superior way to do item specialization
I
in a
see.
board game.
So in the end of the day, make it like HOTS.
Basically, I would say that it's. I mean, you want to make decisions that let players focus on the macro strategy that's surrounding the game, right? On like their long-term strategy, and not on counting costs and optimizing and stuff. So if there's like two items that do two things, and I can't tell which one is immediately better for my character and my situation, then that's not great. With a talent system, like I have 4 talents, and I know this is my DPS talent, this is my defense talent, this is my mobility talent, this is my utility talent, and I can tell right away, well, which of these playstyles am I pursuing? Okay, I'll take that talent, and then I can move on. So you make a higher impact decision easier with talent trees than you do with item specialization.
I see.
And with item specs, there is the idea that, I might discover builds that might be useful, that might not have ever appeared before. But the reality is that in competitive games, you don't discover builds unless you're on day 0. After that, the meta solidifies and everybody knows what the real item builds are. And there's not a lot of discovery to item specs.
And if you try anything different, you get called a troll for not picking the meta build.
Basically, I mean, at a high enough level, yeah.
Yeah.
But if you're not at a high enough level, then you you don't. Or what am I saying? I guess I'm saying at a certain competitive level, yeah, the item specialization becomes a tech tree that you just have to have memorized.
Yep.
Right.
Pretty much, essentially.
So it's better to just collapse and optimize the tech tree.
Yeah.
If you can do that.
So items basically
it's a
just
little more work to
increase
design talents for everyone.
the burden of knowledge on the player, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
Rather than just putting it
like-
on the developers / designers, right?
Yeah, and I don't know if you've played if you played the old Dota, the original Dota.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, it's like I played that game like 10 or 11 times. I didn't even know how items worked until like the third game, and I didn't know that you could upgrade them until like the 5th game. And then even then I didn't know which ones to try and upgrade. It's just like, I'll just get like 10 of these, +5 DPS things because they seem to stack up well.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
anyway.
it's bad. It takes you a long while to get it. Like, I think the collective consciousness of the gamer world doesn't understand how bad item specializations are, mostly because we're all too used to it. But like, I think talent trees are indeed the way to go. I always have a more fun time doing talents and HOTS than doing item builds in any other game, really. Because at the end of the day, every character only literally has 1 or 2 item builds anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just collapses down.
Indeed. Okay, next question.
Anyway,
Next question.
What's the next one?
Is there a formula behind special and ultra move design in the Exceed fighting system? What are good baseline examples to look into in terms of custom design? So I think somebody wants to make a custom Exceed character. Can we help them, Brad?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So what I would say is take a look at the normals. The normals are the foundation of Exceed. And when you come up with a new attack, for a special move, you want to make it on par with a normal. You want to probably beat 2 or 3 other normals and lose to 2 or 3 other normals. The biggest thing here is the range, power, speed curve. And so if you look at a card, say Grasp, Grasp is speed 7, does 3 damage at range 1. And then at speed 6, you can get out to range 2 with Cross. At speed 5, you can get out to range... at speed 5, you can get out to range 3 with Assault.
Yeah.
At speed 4, you can get out to range 4 with Dive. And then it contracts again, so you get closer, but you get more of a sure thing with Spike, and then with Sweep, and then with Focus. So I would say look at the normals and try to start with a normal and just tweak the normals until they do something different, and see how that works out for you. With ultras, you kind of want to make your ultra to, based on its cost. If it's a 1 or 2 cost ultra, it should just be 1 step better than a special move. So a special move that beats its own, it beats the speed class or it beats the range class. or it beats the the power class for a certain area. If it's like a 3 or 4 super, then you can like go up 2 steps. You could beat just about like everything except 1 or 2 normals, and you beat all the other normals. And then with like a 5 or a 6 cost super, it's just like you just win at this range. Generally,
Oh, literally, nothing will beat this attack at this range like that.
Well, the counterplay is to not let yourself get set up for it.
Of course.
But typically, if somebody's spending 5 or 6 gauge on something, it needs to really wreck house. There might be like one normal that beats it, but but yeah. So that's the general thing. Like, try to balance around losing and winning against a certain number of normal attacks. Things get a little tougher at range, and so adding minimum ranges can help to deal with that. But you'll see a bit more as more characters come out. I would say look at Season 2. Season 2 is a lot more balanced. Season 1, we have some characters that really fall out of the range. Like, the reason that Vincent is considered not very good is because most of his moves lose to more normals than they beat.
Oh.
The reason that Alice is considered really, really good is that some of her special attacks are 2 and 3 steps above corresponding normals. So, like, some of those attacks are effectively ultra level already without costing any gauge.
Oh, okay.
So that's why Alice got banned, because we hadn't established these. We had not established those balancing guidelines when we did Season 1.
I see. So who in Season 2 should we look at? Like, who in Season 2 has, like, the most clearly... Like, if you look at their ultras, you're like, yeah, so this is what the 2 steps above ultra would look like.
Yaquis is a really good one to look at, because he has a lot of moves that are straightforward. They're kind of variations on the normals. And also you can see how he plays them face up to get a +2 on the cards, and how they were designed with that in mind to be like very difficult to beat at certain ranges. And that's why he's able to do that. Why he's able to say, like, well, what are you going to do about this? Because he has those moves that are they're very specific in their utility.
Yeah.
Another good one to look at would probably be Jeanette. And Jeanette, because you can look at her moves and you can see how the
hex,
the interaction of how the interaction of her spell circle changes the power level of the moves so drastically. Right, like when she does an attack and it's at range, when she can throw her Bloodthorns attack, which is like a speed 7, at any range across the board, how that changes the character so much in terms of power level. And she was one of the toughest ones to balance in that series.
I see. Well, you guys seem to have been successful. I mean, nobody's called her out yet, so seems great.
Yeah, the balance in Season 2 is really tight. Like, Daniel did a great job on balancing this set, and I'm really happy with it.
Oh, that's great.
But future seasons of Exceed are also going to be really cool. We've already balanced like a season ahead. We're starting on season 4.
Cough, cough. Season we can't tell you the name of. Cough, cough.
Not yet. We're still working out the contract.
3 and 4, right?
Yeah, 3 and 4. We're still working on contracts, but we're starting to balance. We're starting to design and balance 4.
Yeah,
already.
Yeah, because 3's basically been balancing since what? Last year?
Yeah,
like last year or something.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Let's move on to the last question for this segment, Brad. What's your favorite Overdrive finisher name in BattleCon? Okay, no cheating. You can't pick Evil Hikaru's finishers, because they're by default the best.
No, Evil Hikaru's styles are the best.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. Probably. I'd say like maybe Seraphina's Fulminary Vortex.
Ooh,
that sounds cool.
I like that.
Let's see if there are any others that catch my attention. Oriana's Nihil Eraser is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool too.
Um, but yeah, probably those two. I think. The
Yeah.
I think that's probably it. You know, like the finisher names. Oh, actually, I remember the Malafay sisters. So Schecter has like coffin nails, right?
Yeah.
And each one of them has a move that's like that.
Oh, what's
So
Lucida's?
so Lucida's is like embalming extraction.
Oh.
Candide has like last will.
They're all about funeral
Ariel
stuff.
has epitaph carver. Yeah.
Ah.
So they all have a. Let's see. What was Dolores? I can't remember. I have to open up my planning guide so I can see what hers was.
Wow, all of these previews, man, just dropping them.
What was Dolores? Yeah, just funerary rites.
Yeah.
So they all have an attack like that. Yeah. I can't remember what Sarah's. What was Sarah's?
Something that.
I don't even think she's in my guide here.
Oh, what? But she's like one of the few who actually has a character set.
Yeah, 'cause that's she was before I started writing. I started collecting them into this list.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember a finisher, but I'm pretty sure it has something to do with like sealing or burials or something, right? Because
Yeah, it's something they all have one that's like that's related to that, and so that series of names is pretty cool.
oh man, I didn't know that. Oh, that's pretty cool. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah, that's just a neat little
Oh man.
neat little thing.
This is why I miss you on this podcast, man. Ah, small tidbits like that. That's what I live for. So my favorite finisher name, I have two favorite kinds of finisher names. One is like I just like them because they're fun to say out loud when you use them. And then the other ones are when they give you tidbits of lore in them. So for example,
Uh-huh.
an example of the first one is like Double Mustache Buster. I have to say it like that.
You just like to say that out loud.
Yeah, like every time I do that finisher, it has to be Double Mustache Buster or something like that, right? But like
Oh man.
the second one is something like the August strain, Carolyn's second finisher, the beta finisher.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Where you get where it tells you a little bit about the character's lore, because August is her sister, or her like Philomene homunculus that didn't have the same limits Carolyn has.
yep. So
So and that finisher lets you limit break basically and use two forms at once.
which was the entire reason why August basically exploded and died, right? And the reason why Carolyn can only assume one form at a time. Or something along
Yeah.
those lines.
Well, August was managed to be killed after like a great amount of work from after a long prolonged battle with like 100 cadenza bots. They finally managed to kill August.
well, sorry, I mean, like, it made her unstable. It made her, like,
yeah.
emotionally
But
unstable.
Yes,
right?
yes, she was crazy and basically decided that she was the ultimate life form.
Wait, what?
That's what happened. Like she kind of became a sociopath.
Oh no! Oh no! Great, everyone,
What?
I need August as Shadow the Hedgehog fan art now, please.
Oh my goodness! Don't do those kind of things. You will be able to play as August in BattleCon Online though. Because she'll be an alternate costume for Carolyn.
Okay, I thought you were gonna actually just release an entirely new character. I was like, what's this?
No, like in her regular form, she'd be a boss character.
Oh man, so it's like she's Anath levels. Speaking of Anath.
Not even like more like Udstad level.
Oh wow! Like Burman Dragon
like a
mode.
boss, like a format boss. Yeah.
Oh man, like Twilight Magdalena, Burman Dragon mode, Havoc boss.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those kind of bosses. That's what kind of character that would be. Maybe we should do that. Although, like the thing is, she's already dead by the start of Devastation, so it wouldn't make sense for her to be in Devastation.
Hey Brad, look, we're in a world with literal magic and necromancy, and like, I don't know what reason you could give me to not just bring back a character from the dead when one of your game's major plot points is literally doing just that.
Okay. Well, we'll see. She might come back at some point.
All right, so that pretty much just
it's that comic book continuity.
Hey, our anime can, like, August dies, and that's what gives Carolyn the power to friendship. Whatever. That ends this segment of the podcast, and I think we might have to end this podcast a bit earlier than usual. I mean, it's pretty late right now, but like,
It's been a pretty good length podcast.
Yeah,
But I have a call coming in, so I need to sign off. So I will look forward to our next one.
Yeah, we look forward to the next one. So, as usual, thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Level Cap Podcast. We really appreciate you being here. If you want to give us any comments, questions, or suggestions, please put them in the comment section down below. Remember that Brad and I read most of them, and I reply to every single one. So, please do not worry. We will see all of those, and we will get to those comments as soon as we can. As usual, it has been me, your host, Marco Dos Santos, also known as Mechanic Critic, also known as some random Asian guy, and with me has been the co-host that I've missed so much.
Brad Telton.
Yes, and we will see you guys again next week. Don't forget your special action, and thank you, Roll of Indians.
Same level 99 time, same level 99 place.
Ooh.
Happy gaming, and good night.
Good night. Happy gaming. And don't forget your special action. Thank you, Roll of Indians. Thank you, and good night.